record in the car because it's one of the places where I actually catch a moment of free time. So since I've gotten the GoPro here, I have been wanting to take a little bit of time to do a little bit of a personal video. And I feel like some of the best personal conversations that I've ever had are in a car. Like, I've given managers that I've worked for rides home. I've had to give different people rides at different times. And it always seems like when you're in the car together, that's like when, you know, it's either that or sit in awkward silence, right? It's you get to know the person, or you just sit there in the most awkward of silence. So, but anyways, I wanted to take a little bit of time to do a little bit of a personal video. I want to kind of stretch out the legs of the camera here. I haven't found it all sideways and awkward and stuff, but that's kind of cool. So there's a front-facing camera on this thing, and it actually shuts off after a while. But that's pretty good. After you have it set up, you should already know whether you're in the frame or not. So, but anyhow, I'm pretty sure people are gonna watch my channel. At least people that live in my little hometown here, Marion, Ohio, wearing the Buckeyes represent. But anyways, you know, I know people are gonna watch my videos in my hometown, or people that might know a little bit about me, and they're gonna maybe wonder, you know, how it is that I even got to the point of wanting to do a YouTube or do any of this stuff in the first place. So, the gist of that, I don't want to get into any detail because I don't want to risk, you know, tarnishing the brand or anything. So I'll try to keep it as PG as possible. So the gist of the reasons why I have even started the YouTube channel. I started the YouTube channel basically in desperation. It's the honest truth. I mean, I have been doing computers and stuff for years. I got my CompTIA certification in 2005 for my A+ and N+. You know, I was a certified technician. I was really into computers. I tried to follow the Cisco networking path for a while. And then life kind of happened to me. As a young man, like many of us do when we're young. Anyhow, like many of us do when we're young, we try to fast forward through life and, you know, try to get to all these goals and stuff that we have for ourselves. And it doesn't always work out in the methods that we intended. So for me trying to fast forward my life, it put me in a position where I was working for UPS and it was a really good gig, but I basically murdered my body and I ended up with an addiction to pain pills. And you know, that's a story as old as time, I feel like, or at least where I'm from. Here in northern Ohio as a whole, I got hit really hard from the opium or the opiate epidemic, and that's around the whole country. It's not just here per se, but Marion in particular. It's a small town, a lot of people know each other, so things catch on and word gets around. And eventually at the end of it, after I resigned, went jobless, then I ended up spending every dime that I had in savings selling my motorcycle. I sold everything, all my computers. The gaming computer went almost last, but even as a tech person, these kind of things, a drug addiction takes over your whole mindset. You know what I mean? And you know, it's just been here in the last couple of years of me doing well that I've actually discovered all this stuff. You know what I mean? I've started to pick the pieces of my life back up, and it's been a very slow, very slow process. And the reason it's so hard for me is because in my past, during that whole thing, there were some criminal implications. You know, I've been through all of that stuff. I served time for it, 336 days in total. And then me, who didn't quite have everything figured out yet, even managed to screw up something like probation. So I was unsuccessfully discharged in November of 2019. And since that point, my life has taken so many ups and downs. It's just been just a roller coaster ride, one after the other. And as things over the last year or so started to normalize and smooth out for me, which is good. You know, routine is really, really good for recovering addicts, you know, and I've just now gotten, you know, I don't want to say this now. I've gotten comfortable with the fact that I will be an addict for the rest of my life. You know, that little part of me is always going to be there no matter how far behind me it is. But the whole reason for the video, basically, you know what I mean, it is very, very hard for me to get a job anywhere, let alone in the technology space. And you know, I'm really, really good at computers, and I'm really good at making computers and programming them and writing programs and building websites, and you name it, I can probably do it. And that's just because I have spent, since I was 8 years old, building computers. You know what I mean? Like, it's what I do, and not just the building of them. I get into troubleshooting and repair and all that stuff. You know, not everybody's computer is nice and pristine and clean, as you see on some of these YouTube videos. You know, sometimes desktop repairs are real nitty gritty, they're real dirty, you know, they're real dusty. The air quality in a lot of people's homes isn't as good as you might want it to be, or as good as anybody might want it to be. But the cost of living, at least where I am, is not as high as other places. I'm not going to say it's not high, because the cost of living is ridiculous. But anyhow, the YouTube channel and the company behind it and everything, you know, I understand not everybody is going to want to hire us or hire me. You know, because I will have technicians that will be working for me. You know, I plan on molding into something, whether it's just these videos or it moves beyond that into an actual tech support gig for a company. I don't know. But I know that if I sit at home and am allowed to focus on my failures and dwell on things that I cannot change, that I will surely end up in the same gutters from whence I came. So, with that knowledge being firmly placed in my head, I am 36 now. I just turned 36 on the 6th of October. Just had a birthday. Just started getting into doing this stuff. And, you know, I'm 36. I'm not getting any younger. I love technology. I love computers. I love the whole thing. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it for you guys, or at least for anybody that's going to watch. Because I have to do something, man. You know, I could go flip burgers, I guess, for the rest of my life. And, you know, I might end up there. You know, y'all have seen me at Arby's. I worked there right after I was released from the CBCF program. Only certain people are going to know what that means, and that's fine. That's the way I want it. But anyways, I'm almost back to the house, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video. Thanks for coming on this bumpy car ride with me. But yeah, that's basically the angle of the channel, at least starting out anyways, is going to be, you know, me, a regular guy that owns, or doesn't own, I wish I owned. It's just going to be me, a regular guy, doing tech stuff at his house. And if people choose to hire me to do some of the things that I'm making videos about, then that's great. Fantastic. But if not, if at least somebody learns something from what I'm doing and is able to either set it up themselves, you know, or find somebody that can, or learn from my videos, you know. If I can find that person, if I can reach at least a few people and turn this into a gig, it doesn't have to make me rich. I don't want to be rich, but I do have, you know, a 7-year-old in the house with me, and I have responsibilities and bills to pay. I would love to just play with computers and stuff all day long. So here's to trying to make that happen. But anyhow, thanks for coming on this car ride with me. I'm glad that I finally did this. I'm trying to get more comfortable with talking to this thing, and I want to thank anybody that has watched or is watching or will continue to watch in the future. I'm going to put out just as much stuff as I can, and I'm going to try to add my own little wonky quirkiness to it. So anyhow, thanks for taking the time to watch this. I'm going to go outside and cut the video.